Good morning, friends, and welcome to the pre-market update. First and foremost, we will have a look at the global markets. Yesterday, we saw the US markets closing almost on a flattish note, where the Dow closed up by around 18 points and Nasdaq closed down by around 18 points. But we saw a lot of stock-specific action happening in the US markets yesterday, especially in the technology shares, where the companies like Dell Incorporation shares were up by around 13%, where there were news that the company is likely to go private and is in talk with the private equity firms. On the other hand, we saw the shares of Apple down by around 3.6%, where there were reports that the company has cut down the orders for the LCDs and the other parts for the iPhone 5 because of the weak demand for the product, and because of which we not only saw the pressure in the stock prices of Apple, but also the suppliers listed companies also saw the pressure on the stock prices yesterday. On the overall, we are seeing that the US markets are actually looking forward for the earnings for the month of for the fourth quarter, and overall expectations for the S&P 500 earnings is very less, by around 1.9% growth year on year. So we'll have to wait and watch as to how the earnings come out and how the US markets react to those earnings accordingly. Back home in the Indian markets, we saw a very spectacular, strong rally yesterday, where the Sensex closed up by around 240 points, and both the Sensex and Nifty were up by around 1.23%. After a long time that we have seen a very strong rally and very strong closing in the Indian markets yesterday, and this was due to the inflation numbers which came out yesterday for the month of December, where the numbers were below the street expectations at around 7.18%. Not only that, this has been a third consecutive month where the inflation has been on a declining trend. For the month of November, the inflation numbers were around 7.24, and also for the month of October, the inflation numbers have been revised downwards to 7.32%. So this would actually help the RBI to ease the monetary policy in the coming January 29th. Although there are concerns as far as the current account deficit is concerned, which could actually have some cautious stance for the RBI going ahead in the monetary policy. As far as the Indian markets are concerned, yesterday we saw a strong rally in the IT stocks as well as the banking stocks because of the inflation numbers, where the ICICI Bank was up by around 2%. Also, State Bank of India had a strong bounce from the lows that it made yesterday. The IT stocks, Infosys, continues a strong upward trend, and also TCS numbers were in line with the expectations, and also both the counters are looking very strong. As far as the flows are concerned, we saw again the DIS continuing selling spree of around 1,200 crores in the yesterday's trade, and as far as the FIs are concerned, the flows were positive to the tune of around 611 crores, which are provision numbers. For further market updates and cues, as far as the FNO is concerned, I'd like to call upon Sherwell for the overall market outlook.
Good morning, friends. Domestic positive news such as the deferment of car and cooling down of inflation has led market to bounce back sharply from the lower levels, and we have seen that markets have closed with more than 1% gain in yesterday's trade. Now, in yesterday's trade, we have seen that long positions have been accumulated in the market, and talking about the implied volatility, we have seen that it has shot up by around, say, 3 to 10%. So that has been still indicating that yes, there would be some uncertainty in the market as we have a monetary policy on 29th of January. But what we have seen is that 6,200 call option as well as put option has seen a good activity on the option side. Whereas if we talk about the strikes on the put side, 6,100, 6,000 and 5,900 has seen a good activity. The straddle value, or say the break even for the month, is at 6073. So precisely that would be the resistance area for the market, because if those levels are taken off, then further upside can be seen in the market. But yes, as market has been very sticky, we feel that 6,000 on closing basis would act as a good support for the market. And as we are trading above our weekly VWAP of 6,000, a bias for the market is positive. And from intraday perspective, Gale is looking positive, so one can go along with support of 364 rupees 60 paisa, whereas supply is looking bit weak, so one can go short with a resistance of 425 rupees 30 paisa. Thank you.
Friends, let's take forward some of the MID updates and ideas. First and foremost, the GAR Amendment Act has been deferred, and at the same point of time it is also made with retrospective effect. The Finance Ministry has deferred the implementation of GAR to assessment year 2016 and 17, but the investments which have been made after August 30, 2010 will come under the GAR and effectively will be made applicable with retrospective effect. Well, as I already mentioned, the TCS has come out with the results post-markets yesterday, and the results have been in line with the expectations, where the Q3 net profit came at around 3,551 crores, which was up 1% quarter-on-quarter and up to 23% from a year ago, which helped by the new deal wins the company has made in the last quarter. At the same point of time, the exporters' revenue rose by around 3% sequentially to around rupees 16,000 crores, and the dollar revenues were up by around 3% to 2,948 USD million. As far as the results expectations are concerned, today the Axis Bank is correct to come out with the results, where the expectations for the PAT is around rupees 1,264 crores, a growth of around 14.7% year on year. For the MID ideas on an intraday perspective, first and foremost, we have long idea on Maruti, where sources say that Maruti is set to hike the prices by around 1.1 to 1.5% across the products by the end of this week, and which is at the same point of time the company is also beneficial of the sharp correction that we have seen in the Japanese yen, which corrected around more than 10% in the last 1 month. So on the back of that update, we would like to recommend to go long on Maruti with a stop loss of 1,508 and a target price of 1,585 to 1,614. NMDC is likely to raise the iron ore rates for February because of the firming prices of the key steel making raw materials internationally. Indication from the management. At the same time, the company board will meet in the first week of February for the price revision decision. On the back of that news, we recommend to go long on NMDC with a stop loss of 159 for a target of 167 to 169. Mahindra, we have seen a strong demand for its various products for Quanto, XV500 and Rexton, and because of which the waiting period has been very long, and because of which the company is likely to raise the capacity of the 3 models and to bring down that waiting period. So on the back of that news, we recommend to go long on Mahindra & Mahindra with stop loss of 916 for a target of 963 to 981. JSW Energy has received the forest clearance for its planned 240 megawatts hydropower project in Himachal Pradesh. The project has been set up at an estimated cost of around rupees 2,000 crores. On the back of that news, long JSW Energy with the stop loss of 66.50 for a target of 70 and 71. Now for some short ideas for today. Lupin, the anti-cholesterol drug, Antara has faced the threat from the competition from generic rivals on the back of the US FDA final approval to Mylan's generic version of Antara. Because of this, we would like to go short on Lupin with a stop loss of 591 for a target of 561 to 549. Tata Motors has shut the production for the 4th time this year at its truck manufacturing unit in Jamshedpur as it struggles to get the retail demand. Because of this negative news, we would like to recommend to go short on Tata Motors with a stop loss of 335 for a target of 318 to 311. Reliance Industries KG-D6 gas field has seen production drop to just 22 million standard cubic meters per day, as the company has shut over a third of the wells due to the high water and the sand ingress. Because of this, we would like to go short on Reliance Industries with stop loss of 864 for a target of 821 to 803. That's it from the MID ideas for today. Thanks and have a nice trading day.